quick note in case I haven't explained this earlier. What I'm doing right now, this is actually that's not a prototype, but basically I'm putting together, or this build, this guy right here that I'm working on right there. This is actually a trial. So instead of using marine grade plywood, which is $60, $70 a sheet, I just went and got cheap grade D, $9 a sheet plywood, because I don't know anything about what I'm doing, and I thought, you know what, at least let me put something together, build something together first, and then I'll rebuild with the actual boat, which you'll see in the future. I'm going to touch on scarfing today. It's been my bugaboo. So just real quick, the manual said to go ahead, and I've seen other people do this, just use a planer for your scarfing. So I got a planer, my $12 or $4 planer, and went to work planing. And I ended up, I don't have any pictures of it beforehand, but I ended up, it took about 4 hours. It was a 3-inch scarf. The scarf on each side was 3 inches, so you know the cover part would be 3 inches. So I spent about 4 hours just planing, and every 15-20 minutes going and sharpening the damn blade again, and then planing some more and planing some more. And that's about a good 4 hours. The scarf joints are finally done. This is for the haul. So these pretty much all day. I'm not sure you can really tell, but see, I got them all even all the way down the side, thick, kind of thin, and I'll just this board is going to flip over on top and epoxy these pieces together. So there you go. And when I flipped all the boards over, there were waves in my planing, because you know I was been planing, so there was 1/8 inch waves and on both sides, and where they'd meet, the wood would be as much as 1/8 of an inch higher or lower. So I had these 1/8 inch burrs, and it doesn't sound like that big of a deal until you realize it was the hull of the boat. And here, let me just show you what I went ahead and fixed. It was the bottom of the boat, and so I can't have an 1/8 inch lip sticking out in the water. I mean, that's just can't do that. So here's what I ended up doing. Get this out of the way. So I ended up having to go back and sand the top. So I sanded this down, took a chisel to it again, and chiseled out these areas. You can see my chisel marks. Just trying to get this edge, because this edge is 1/8 of an inch higher than this. I mean, you can still kind of hear it. To get them more even, so where they're really high, I had to chisel out it really hard, like right there, as you can see. And so once I got done with this, then I got the epoxy, and and added a bunch of sawdust, and you're going to need a lot of sawdust. Save your sawdust. We got a lot of sawdust, and then I put all this together. So then now it's much smoother. It's tolerable. I kind of so after this, I decided I'm not doing that anymore. I obviously have a cheap planer, and I'm just not doing it. So the next time around, I decided to use my miter, or not my miter, my router. That part right there. Let's see. There. Okay, yeah, that looks right. That looks right. Let's look at this before I scarf this thing down. Yeah. Okay, I think that's at the point, the right angle. Yeah. So, like I said, we got my router. So here's my Bosch router, 1/4 inch. And then I know people poo-poo it and trash them, but I went down to Harbor Freight and got a $20 router bit set. And so what I did is this is the biggest one, 3/4 of an inch, and for a 3 inch scarf, So what I did was I took a board here. I'll show you here. Took a board, put it like right about there, going across here, clamped it down, and then ran the router right across it, just like that. And I used the markings on the front here, right there. You can see them right there. And I use those. Go on, move the board 1/4 inch, and then do the other 1/4 inch, and then move it again 1/4 inch, and then do the next 3/4 inch, and then move it. And as I did it, every time I did that, every time I moved it the full inch, I dropped it down another notch. So by the time I went 3 inches, I had 3 different levels of scarf joints, or 3 different levels of router, you know, shallow, deeper, like that. And then I just clicked this up, 1, 2, 3, like that. So then what I did is I sanded over it, to try to make things a little bit smoother. And all in all, that worked a lot better. But when I got done, because I used a straight edge, if I had any waver, if I wasn't exactly on point, the ridges, because there was now ridges, an inch, you know, inch per 1/8 of an inch. There were ridges, and they would couple. They laid on top of each other. But it was much better. It was much better. It ended up taking me maybe 2 hours, maybe not even that long, to do. And did the same, you know, went through the same process. When I put the boards together, they were 1/16 of an inch off. Once I got done, because I sanded it after I got done doing the router piece, I sanded over it in case I had any of those lip issues. Much easier process, much easier. If you have a router, use a router. The planer, unless you have a really nice planer, it's just unbearable.